Okay, today's video is some wrist work with some neural gliders. So just a short 15-20 minutes of some basic movements for mobility, stretching out the nerves a little and strengthening in for the wrists and the forearms. So you're going to start just standing. You will need your 1 kg dumbbells and a little stool, which I've got here just below. I'll tilt the camera down shortly so that you can lean your elbows onto it. So just to start, before we get onto the weight work, we're going to just mobilize and do a few little stretches. So we're going to start with our hands just at our sides, palms turned in. You're going to flex the wrists inwards, and we're going to do a little open close, let's say about 10 or 15, nothing too fancy, just feeling for any stretch points or any neural response down the forearms as we do this open and close. So I can feel like my left arm has got a little bit more tension than the right side. I'm going to do another 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's where you're going to start. Then we've practiced this in our classes before. So you're going to make the A-OK sound with your thumb and forefinger, and we're going to put these backward glasses on, and then open arms to T, and put the glasses on, open to T. Again, you're going to do about 8 or 10 of these, ideally getting those fingers cupped around that eye socket as flush as you can. And always we compare our differences between left and right. This is a little sneaky on the shoulders. It should warm up those shoulders as well. I can already feel my forearms starting to wake up. I'm going to go for 3 more. And they are feeling pretty balanced. Last 2. Glasses on, glasses off, and your last one. Glasses on, you can hold it for a few extra seconds here, and then you can undo, and then just shake the hands out. Right, so from here now you're going to take the right arm forward. We're going to extend the wrist, so you're pushing the heel of your palm away from you. You're going to grab on with the other hand for an assisted stretch. You should feel that lengthening here on the forearm. And then once you found your stretch point, we're going to just do a little ear to shoulder, 8 or 10 times. And then you're going to do the same side. We're flexing the wrist, so fingertips pointing down. And again, ear to shoulder, 8 or 10. Once you feel things start to loosen up, then you can release, and we're going to do the other side. So we'll go in for the extended wrist first. Palm, heel of your palm away from you, pulling those fingertips back, and ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. Just do 2 more. And then fingertips down, and the same. So it is a little bit more mobility focused. We're not too worried about any resistance or sticky toffee at this point. Just looking for movement. I'm going to do 2 more. And then undo and shake the arms out. Right, next stretch. So we are going to have your arms reaching out forward in front of you. I'll just show you from the side a little bit. You're going to stretch those fingertips and the palms as wide as you can. Then slowly curl the fingers into a fist. You're going to squeeze that fist, pull the knuckles down towards the mat. You should feel a stretch on the top of those forearms, and then we turn the knuckles in towards each other. We release and stretch, curl, squeeze the fist, turn down, turn in, and uncurl, stretch, squeeze, turn down, turn in. I'm going to do 2 more. Stretch, squeeze, turn down and in. And last one, stretch wide as you can. Every one of those fingers nice and separated. Squeeze into the fist. Turn the knuckles down and turn them in. And you're going to hold that stretch point just for 1 or 2 breaths. Let's not forget to breathe. Good, and then release and shake the arms out. So I'm going to just turn the camera now, so you're going to need a little bit of wall space for this. So I'm just going to use my bit of wall here. for your pec stretch, which is going to be a little bit neural. So you're going to start with your right hand on the wall, fingertips up to the ceiling. Once the hand is on, the heel of the palm is flat against that wall, you're going to turn away from the hand. So we're opening up into that chest. We should feel a stretch here. We might feel a bit of neural response as well. I can feel it in the top of my bicep and a little bit at the back of the arm. Turn back in and turn back out. Just one more of those. Turn in with the fingertips up and turn out. Hold that stretch. Take a nice deep breath in. And then release it. Then you're going to turn your fingers to face backwards. This one can also be quite tender and painful around the elbow. So just go in a comfortable range for yourselves. The whole hand is flat. And again, you're going to turn away from the hand. And I'm just going to hold this one. I can feel this going right down through the palm of my hand into the middle finger. So holding that stretch, 2 or 3 breaths in and out. And then release and undo. We're going to do the other side, so just going to probably turn away from you now. So fingertips are up for the first one, and we open away from the wall and return. And open away and return. And last one, open and hold. And then you've got those breaths in and out. And as always, we're comparing left and right hand side. One more breath. And then return. And then the fingertips are going to go backwards. And again, we're just going to open. And you'll hold it open with a few breaths in and out. And feeling that stretch. Hopefully you're getting a stretch and no restrictions. If you are feeling restricted at all, you can just turn the fingertips to face slightly up and go back in for that stretch. And then undoing yourself and returning. I like to just roll the shoulders out a few times forward and back, just to get some mobility into those shoulders. And now I'm going to take you down onto the mat, where we're going to do our forearm, our wrist work. So that should be okay with alignment. I've got my 1 kgs, these are 1.5s, but those will be fine. You're going to be kneeling in front of your stool. Oh, let's just adjust that slightly. Right. So we're kneeling with our hands. We need space so that the hands can be just off of the stool edge. Chair or ottoman is also fine. Not hanging in the shoulders. We're crispy Simba chips. And we're going to start by extending the wrists. Let the weights roll right down to the fingertips as far as you can go. And then I like to just keep an eye on my angle of my wrists. So we want to keep them in neutral alignment, not letting them conk in or out. And then we're going to flex in and extend and flex for 2. The whole time as I'm extending and flexing the wrists, the forearms are staying anchored down on the seat of your chair. I'm just going to do one more. So I'm going to do reps of 5 here for video purposes. You guys can go anywhere from 6 to 10, depending on how you're feeling. Right, then we go back to neutral. You're going to turn the palms down, so we are pronated, and we're going to repeat exactly the same. So we're going to lower the fingers down to the floor, that's your flexion, and then extending all the way up without the forearms lifting. Flexing down, extending up, and just watching that the wrists are staying in neutral, and extend. I'm just going to do 2 more. Extend, and last one. And then hold that extension, check your wrists are even, and then return back to neutral. Then palms facing each other for your radial and ulnar deviation. So radial deviation is thumb side up towards the chest. Again, forearms aren't lifting. And then the ulnar deviation is pinky fingers side down. And we're flexing in and extending away. 3. Just keep checking in with your shoulders that you've not collapsed. 2 more for my 5. And the last 1. Then back to neutral, and from here we're going to pronate and supinate from the elbow, so the palms turning down and all the way up. And all the way down, my forearms are still staying anchored on the floor and all the way up. You do just want to check that your wrists are in line with your elbows and not too close together or too far out. Turning down and up for another 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then return. If you need to have a rest, here's a good place to just push your hips back into a little stretch of the arms and shoulders. And we've got 1 more range to go. We're going to just do one side at a time. So I'm holding the dumbbell and forearm stays anchored, and I'm going to do a little circular motion. 5 circles in each direction with that forearm as stable as possible. 2 more for me. 1 more. And then I reverse it for 5 in the opposite direction. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other side. So exactly the same, forearm anchored. If you want to put one hand onto the forearm to stabilize it, you can. And we're starting with those circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then reversing it. 1, 2, 3 more. Last 2, and last 1. Good, and then I'm going to return. Right, so that is your little bit of strengthening. It really isn't a lot. It's a couple of reps with a few basic movements, including the circles. And then if you'd like to, you can repeat the stretches. Personal favorite is the stretching of the hands, curling into the fist, turn the knuckles down, turn them in, and you should feel a big difference between the first ones and the last ones that you've done. You can add this into part of your weekly routine, especially if you're feeling any wrist pain or any elbow pain. This is a wonderful strengthening and mobility video to follow. Thank you very much.